to the extreme now. Put your pinkies up now, up now, up. Lately, I've been on social media talking a lot about divestment versus transcendence. I've been saying that divestment should be a phase and not an identity. So what does that mean exactly? This little clip that I'm about to show you is what I mean when I say divestment as an identity.
I understand you're from some people are out on the divestor community. What is that? Can you explain that to us? What does that mean?
I am a divestor. I'm a savage divestor.
What does that mean?
I don't. You can see I love the Confederate flag because it doesn't offend me like it used to. Because I used to be black male identified and I used to be into all of that stuff. So I kind of just abandoned.
That's not the Confederate flag. That's the Confederate battle flag.
The Confederate battle flag. Yeah.
That flag was actually flown only a few times in a few wars by particular regiments. So that's not actually the Confederate flag.
Yeah, and this was actually in the United States Army too. So it's not like people see this flag and they get so offended.
Yeah, I'm offended by it, but
no, it's
if you want
not.
to wear it, you're welcome to wear it. But
Yeah.
maybe we'll talk about that another time. But go ahead, please explain to us what divestor means.
Oh, it's just abandoning all black male identified ideology, abandoning the idea of black love. Just cutting all that out. That's BS. For me, it's just not dating black men. Because it's if you're entertaining black men at this point in time, it's kind of like a distraction for the bigger picture.
And the bigger picture is what?
Black women coming together in a sisterhood, the way that we're doing, and it's a growing community, and I love it.
And what do you think the end outcome of that's going to be? What's the end goal?
Black women putting themselves first, and stop having all these wedlock babies with all these black men.
When divestment is your identity, it is who you are. You want everybody to know about it. You have the zeal of the newly converted. But divestment at its core should be about realizing and working through your anger, your frustration, your disappointment. It shouldn't be a recurring loop in your head, like when you like a really cool song that you want to play on repeat over and over and over again forever and ever, amen? That's not what I'm talking about. We all go through the divestment phase. We go through the phase of being angry, feeling less than, feeling rejected. And so we decide we don't want any more of that. We want to move past that. And so we make certain decisions based on abandoning a set of rules, cultures, and communities that don't serve us. And one thing that we do is we move away from the restrictions of relationships when it comes to what people expect or who people expect Black women to be and be with. It's not about the men. But what divestment as an identity has become for some of us is the identity of hating the men that you used to love. So what is the point of going through all of the stress, the pain, and the grief of moving yourself from a community that is male-focused, based on love and protection, only to jump to another community where those same males are still your focus, but the love that you have has now become contempt on this side. And the focus is not on you. It's not about you doing you. It's about what the fuck Black men did today to feed the anger, the frustration, the hurt, and the rejection that we all feel when we realize the sky is blue and grass is green and water is wet. But to stay there and to make that who you are, and when the need is that you want to agitate the men that you say you want to get away from by doing things like, oh, I don't know, wearing a Confederate battle flag COVID mask over your face is kind of doing that. It's really not giving that you're doing you, that you're living for yourself. It's really not giving that you don't care anymore. It's giving that you care a lot. So when I've been saying and talking about transcendence, I'm talking about going through the phase of the anger that we all go through. I understand it. I have been there. I understand what it means to not be the preference. I understand what it means to not feel celebrated. I understand what it means to just be tolerated, but have all of these expectations on you. I get it. And you have every right to be angry. You have every right to feel rejected. You have every right to feel a loss. And so feel the feels. But here's where transcendence comes in. Transcendence comes in when you're going through that phase. You go through it and you get over it. And then you thrive.
That's right.
To transcend is to get through that phase of hatred, of reminding yourself of why you've made the decisions that you've made. Because maybe you're in this loop of needing to let the community that you left know that you're gone, because you want them to mourn you.
Right.
You want them to grieve you. You want them to feel some of the pain that you felt. But that's not caring. That's caring a lot. But when you transcend all of that, when you get out of that phase, the focus shouldn't be on the men, whether it's white men. It's definitely not going to be black men, Asian men, Middle Eastern men, whoever it is. The focus should never be about the men. The focus should be on you. The focus is to work on your own healing, going through your own journey of self-development, of putting yourself first, of being the best person that you can be so you can have the confidence and be assured that you're going to attract the kind of men that you say you want. But when you're so invested in being divested that you can't work on yourself and this becomes who you are, you're still there, sis. You're still there. You're no longer a flower that's growing and thriving. And you know what happens when things stop growing? They die. What you feed grows, and what you starve dies. So when you get onto that other side of transcendence, it doesn't mean that you forget about all of the things that are true that we already know. It's about getting to the point of acceptance so that you don't have to be reminded of what you already know. When we were in kindergarten, we always had to be reminded about our ABCs. But guess what? We know them now. We don't need to keep rehashing that. I don't need to talk about what the fuck black men did today or the pathology that some of them have, because I know my ABCs. I don't need the training wheels and guardrails anymore. And does that mean that I don't make mistakes? Oh my God, I make so many mistakes, but they're new mistakes. They're not the same ones. And it doesn't mean that my life is perfect, because it's not. But what it means is that I've come to an acceptance of what is. And because I've been able to move on and just accept it, I don't need to be reminded of what I left. I can now focus on myself, on being the best version of me, finding out what makes me look good, doing the healing that's necessary so that I can be attractive to the kind of men that I want, that I can have the friends that I want, I can have the job that I want, I can have the house and the surroundings that I want, because I'm no longer focused on what I lost. I'm no longer grieving over what I lost. And what you gain is you, because you are focusing on becoming the best version of yourself. You're doing the healing. You're doing the work. And does it mean that you're going to be perfect? Does it mean that you're never going to fall down? Trust me when I say this. I fall down all the time. A lot of you guys know that I'm a very transparent person. There's a lot of things you know about my life. And so that also means that you know that there's a lot of things that I've done that have been mistakes. But you only fail when you don't get back up. But in order to transcend, you have to stop looking at the other person and the other people and take a really good look at yourself, sis. That's really what's going to be the change. That's going to be the transcendence and then the transformation that you're going to need to get to that next level shit that I know you want to. So I want to leave you guys with this. I want you to ask yourself, where do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to be in 12 months? What do you want to look like? Where do you want to live? Who do you want to be dating? Who do you want to be married to? If in 12 to 6 months, you're still where you are right now, then you're on the decline. Because remember what I said, what you feed grows, and what you starve dies. Don't starve yourself. Transcend. Go to that next level. Take the guardrails off and the training wheels off, and do you. Focus on you. And then come back and see me in 6 to 12 months, and let's talk. I'm Crystalline Karazin, the creator of The Pink Pill. If you'd like to know more about The Pink Pill,